Good morning, afternoon, evening, gamers. So this is just a little video. I was just watching Linus, and he was talking about some of their videos that did very well. I watch a lot of Linus. I like Linus and everybody at Linus Media Group. I think if you're into gaming and you're into PCs and hardware and technology, I think most people would be into Linus and Linus, the Linus Media Group. And he's quite a likable guy, and he shows how to run a business with empathy, and he treats his staff pretty well. Like he runs his company in an ethical way, which is such a weird take. I mean, that shouldn't be extraordinary. That should be the norm. But I mean, we know that that's not how it sort of goes in life. So anyway, none of that. And I was watching some videos, and I suddenly remembered that I hadn't made like a quick little video on my new phone. Now, so here is the phone. It's a Samsung S22. It's just the S22. It's not the Plus or the flagship or anything. So before this, I had oh wow, what was my last phone? Um, what? Hawaii, Ho- Hawaii, the Hawaii P30 Pro. So I had the Hawaii P30 Pro, but um, it was costing me a lot of money, and I was on this just stupid data plan. It was so overpriced and just stupid. I think I'd actually finished like paying off the phone, and I wasn't going to upgrade the phone because I liked the phone. The P30 Pro was is a very good phone. So I wasn't going to bother, but I was on this stupid data plan, and then I saw this thing, um, and I thought, and generally in the past, Samsung have made very good phones. There's a whole problem with Hawaii and the American government and just all of this nonsense. Um, oh wow, somebody's actually trying to phone me. Isn't it always the way? It's no, no, no. Um, so yeah, so basically this phone was on a deal with Tesco's. I've been with Tesco's for a long time. I really like Tesco's. I think I may have said that before or not. So I this phone was on it was on a it was a pretty good deal. I don't know what's going on with the phone and the the background. The two do not seem to like each other. But yeah, I got I got the P30 Pro. It was on a good deal on Tesco's. It was unlimited data, calls and texts for less money with the phone than I was paying. So I was paying like 50 odd pounds a month, and obviously being out of work at the moment, like that's a lot of money, and I couldn't afford it. I mean, I shouldn't have been paying it even when I could afford it. Like I'm just lazy, and it just takes me a long time to get around to things. And I knew it was a problem. I knew that it was a bad deal, but it was like, okay. I mean, about £30 of that I think was just data. This unlimited data, and the phone, and and everything else what is 30. I mean, it was supposed to be £30, and then it somehow managed to morph into 33 or something. I don't know. The price never seems to be the price, but it's still a lot less than I was paying, and I thought I was getting more. So I've always thought I've had Samsung phones before, and I always thought of them as pretty good. The S22, not so much. I'll be honest. I'm very disappointed. And hey, like if you have this phone and you like it, hey, that's good for you. I'm extremely disappointed. And if I could go back and just keep my Hawaii and just change the data plan, which is also something I was thinking about. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe just like I've paid off the phone now, so I can just change my plan or something. But then I saw, phone, you know, unlimited data, calling, text. What could go wrong? Yeah. The battery is extremely disappointing. Now, to be fair, the P30 Pro did have a bigger battery in it. Um, yeah, it had a bigger battery in it, and it was a lot more aggressively controlled. But wow, that phone could go for days, days and days. Like it was an incredible phone. When you if you forgot to charge it, which a lot of us do, you could pick it up and it was still good to go. Like it would still have plenty of time on it for you to just go and do whatever you needed to do. This one, no, no. I just before I was made unemployed, I was using it a little bit. It barely lasted a day. That would be me, like watching some content during break times. Listening to music on the way to work and from home. Spotify with buds. Um, yeah, like barely lasted would barely last a day. I'm only not complaining about it at the moment because like I'm not going places. I'm not doing things. Um, but yeah, I'm so disappointed. It's like the phone looks nice. The camera on it is very good. Oh, another thing that seems to happen is sometimes the touchscreen doesn't isn't as responsive. I've never come across that before. Like I've never had a phone where you can just be, like tapping on it, and it doesn't respond. You know, lovely girl on here with ears. That's my wallpaper. I mean, very very good looking young lady. But yeah, um, the battery's not great. Sometimes doesn't it doesn't respond quite how you would want it to. The amount of bloatware as well, like the amount of things that it keeps on adding, and I don't think that I can remove them. Like Samsung, I don't care what software you think that I want. I don't. I don't want your software. I will decide what software I want. All right? So can we just back up off of you just downloading things or installing things that I don't want? And I've seen it happen. I've been like, oh, what's it doing now? It's updating something. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's adding security features or something. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's updating a piece of software, its own software, that I don't even use. That is taking up the space. Now, I think this is. Why does it keep disappearing? It's so weird. Um, I mean, so I'm using Nvidia Broadcast, which is a lot better. Like I tried using green screens They are so difficult to use. I mean, seriously, they're so they're hard work. You have to be able to light them properly, and it has to be uniformed. And like this is not a professional setting. It's very difficult to do. In video broadcast, on the other hand, for the most part, it does work pretty good, but it's not enjoying the phone at all. And well, the feeling is mutual, really. Um, the the other thing that what else was there? So there's the battery. I mean, the battery is the biggest one, particularly going from the P30 Pro to this. It was just like, why? Why is a battery just so not not good? Like, what are we doing? Like, how have you gone backwards with phones? Now, to be fair, this isn't the flagship phone. Normally, in the past, I've gotten like the flagship phone. I was on Samsung back in the day when they had the clamshell one. I had that one. I mean, I had Nokia's to begin with, 3310, all of those, OGs. I was on Sony for a while, these Sony Xperia phones. They were really good, but then they weren't innovating very much. I was kind of like, ugh, I'm kind of tired of these. I had a Samsung Galaxy, I'd like to say. I'm not sure. I think it might have been a Samsung Galaxy. Then I went to the P30 Pro, which obviously contracts now because everybody saw Apple just raise their prices to something extortionate and get away with it, and then everybody else was like, oh wow, they got away with it. We need to do that as well. So of course the prices of phones went up, and now you have like a 3 year contract instead of like a 2 year contract. I think depending on the phone and depending on who your operator is, you can. I'm going to put this down because I mean, it keeps disappearing, but I mean, you can do research on the Samsung S22. This is the green one. I can't remember what it's called. But I did really like the green one. I used to get like just plain black phones, and now I'm actually finding that I do like these colours that they do phones in. It does tend to only be on the back, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's made well. It's a very solid feeling phone in your hand. I don't mind that. The phones seem to be getting a little bit more chunky. At one time, they were trying to slim them down as much as possible, and now they seem to be going back the other way. But I mean, it's it is what it is. But yeah, I pretty disappointed, to be honest, and I don't think I would get another one. I'm thinking, I mean, obviously, I haven't had this for long, so I probably got this for 3 years, if it even makes that. Because I mean, if it can't even make it through a typical day, um, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to put up with it. But yeah, super, was pretty disappointed with it. Of course, your mileage may vary. You might love it. You know, that's why these things are, everybody's different. But I did go online and just sort of see what the general consensus was on this phone, and at the most, it's a mixed bag on this phone. To be honest, which does really surprise me with Samsung. But yeah, I mean, that's the video. I just wanted to talk about it in case anybody's maybe thinking, my phone's getting a bit old, maybe upgrade. I I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend Samsung. Just the battery life alone. Your phone has to do quite a lot of things throughout the day, depending on what you do, of course, and depending what your use case scenario is. You know, do you listen to music, go into work, and like coming home? Do you play games during your break time? You know, do you make a lot of phone calls? You know, there are lots of factors. So maybe the battery life wouldn't be so much of a problem for you. But it has other weird kinks to it. Like I said, sometimes the screen doesn't respond. It also has a lot of weird things. So like with the P30 Pro, and I know it's not good to compare two different types of phones always, because it's not always that simple. But with the P30 Pro, you choose your fingerprint and you're into your phone. This one, sometimes fingerprint, I want your fingerprint. Okay, cool. Other times you have to do this weird pattern like thing. Maybe I can turn it off. Perhaps there's ways around just being able to have like one thing. But again, on the P30 Pro, I never really had to worry about any of that. It was just fingerprint into your phone, and off I go. On this, it's sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's another thing. It also has this other feature which I really don't like. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand why I need to have it. I don't like it, and it's this accidental touch thing, like slider thing up. But again, I think because there's something wrong with the screen. Like sometimes I'm trying to slide up and it's not working, and like I just want to get into my phone. Like, I don't need all this kerfuffle. Just to be able to go and do something, because otherwise, by the time I've got into my phone, I've forgotten what it was that I was going into my phone for. Pardon. Yes, my memory is just that bad, sadly. So yeah, just how I feel about the phone. I wouldn't particularly recommend it. The battery, some of the software ideas, sometimes it's not very responsive. The screen more than anything. Scrolling and the general speed seems okay. Just something to do with the screen. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a faulty phone. I mean, I don't know. But again, I had a little look around on the internet, went to some different forums and that, and yeah, people were having you know some of the same issues or different issues. I don't think it's Samsung's best the best product that they've made in a while in regarding to phones. Now, I don't know when they made it. Maybe it was during the pandemic. Maybe there were some problems. Like, I'm trying to, yeah, I'm trying to not make it just sound ranty and like I just don't like something because I don't like something. I have no particular bias with phones. Like if something works well for me, I'll go with that. Like I don't particularly care. So it's not about Samsung. It's just about this particular product. I wouldn't recommend it. So if you are in the market, maybe this is not for you. Again, depending on your use case scenario. So that's it. That's all I've got to say about that. Go and have a look at some reviews. That's what I would always say. I I didn't do, to be fair, I didn't do a lot of research on this phone. Usually when I was shopping around for a phone and I got the P30 Pro, I really did my research. And I knew what the hardware was at the time. The P30 Pro, hardware wise, was a very good phone. Like the hardware wise, there wasn't a lot of phones like it. I mean, now, obviously technology's changing every 5 minutes. But yeah, but at the time, I did the research, and the phone I got was the phone that I wanted, and I had it for a good 3 years, and it was a great phone. Still is a great phone, I'm sure. I sold it to CEX, a electronics place in the UK. Bit overpriced, to be honest. They sell second-hand goods at nearly a new price, where my graphics card came from. But they do give you I think it's either a year's warranty or a 2-year warranty. So, you know, it's not that bad, but it can come across as a bit scammy at times. But yeah, that's a review. You know, do your research, have a read around, see what works for you, and yeah, I don't think my next phone will be necessarily Samsung, or maybe certainly not this product line, perhaps. So, yep, I shall see you on the next video. I was trying to do another video for Skyrim. I've decided to do the Skyrim Not Safe for Work game, as long as I don't. It's a lot easier to make videos for than the Wastelands of Depravity. The Skyrim one, so long as I avoid certain things, it's more or less fine. So I did one video, tried to do another one. OBS decided that it just wasn't going to work. Wasted some. The video became corrupted, which it usually will. So I don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. So till the next video, let me do the end thing, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye for now.